This is Drutter out in the workshop with the camera, dartboard, some darts. Today is May 18th, 2020, day 64 of lockdown. Understand this, that a lot of people, myself included, have been predicting the next collapse that caused massive global panic. Now, look, I'm going to speak to people, a lot of them who've been following this channel for years, since 2009. There's some of you listening right now who are 18, 19, 20 years old who don't realize that this is a very, very, very easy prediction, this next crisis, this next economic terrorist event that's about to occur, because history repeats itself. And we need to remember that it was in 2008 with the red team in power, George W. Bush, fresh on the heels of 9/11, another crisis event at the beginning of his administration that led to another crisis event at the end of his administration that led in Barack Obama. At that point in time, we were sitting at about $7-8 trillion in national debt. Here we sit now, pushing $30 trillion in national debt. Not bad. This isn't rocket science, it's a guaranteed fact. Listen to me. Economic collapse is assured. It isn't maybe. It isn't, oh well, maybe I better stock up on ammunition and food. It is 100% guaranteed to occur. Now, the question is, in 2020, when we have Donald Trump running for president, or we have Joe Biden running for president, do we have the ultimate realization of the fiat currency that has leveled debt around the world at levels that are unprecedented in the history of this planet? Do we have it come crashing down in 2020? Or do we wait till another election cycle? Personally, I believe you are seeing the cracks, the chinks in the armor of nations around the world having their central banks controlled by a global central bank, which is the Federal Reserve, demanding that they create more and more debt. We've seen the tenfold increase of debt around the planet since 2008. We've seen too big to fail institutions become systemic. They are bigger than they've ever been before. And we see their balance sheets starting to head off the cliff. We see the Federal Reserve starting to panic on what to do. It isn't by accident, okay? There's no idiot at the Federal Reserve who is sitting there saying, oh, we just miscalculated. We didn't understand. We thought that things would be better by now. That's all bullshit. They completely understood what would be happening by now. They completely and totally and 100% planned on what is coming down the road next. In 2008, I said global austerity is going to be the catchphrase that catches on to the world. I'm telling you right now, and I wasn't wrong then, we've seen austerity on this planet. If you don't think so, you can name millions of dead individuals on this planet right now because of the economic turndown in 2008 and global austerity. 1 million immigrants flooding into Europe every month because of global austerity. Death, destruction, ruin, the end of civilizations that have been in existence for hundreds, if not thousands of years because of global austerity. And what's happening in 2020? Global unification, global governance. This is what's on tap. You cannot have Brussels controlling the governments of the world. You cannot have global financial governments without a major shock and awe event that comes to planet Earth. How does it happen? You have the end of manufacturing, you have the end of transportation, you have the destruction of the world's leading economies, and you have it happen in rapid succession. And what have we seen going into 2020? We've seen massive sell-offs. It isn't only because the value of energy is falling through the floor. It isn't because manufacturing and construction and retail is falling off the map. We're seeing it because the largest economy in the world, China, the manufacturing honeypot of the earth, is starting to realize that there's no more customers for them to send their very expensive slave labor produced products to anymore. The realization that this country has spent trillions of dollars in order to destabilize nations around the world, and now we're turning the guns of fighting terrorism inward toward the people of the United States and Canada, and have no money in order to fund it, is coming home to roost. The realization is this: if you don't have a real trade, it's too late. If you don't understand the situation we're in, it's too late. If you think Donald Trump is going to lead the country to some kind of promised land, I'm sorry, you're dead wrong. You better believe what's coming down the road next. 2008 is done. Let's pretend it's over with, because in reality it is. That was a warm-up in order to set up legislation, in order to set up a populace to give government complete and utter control. Corporate masters came to you hat in hand then. We need you to bail us out, because if we don't, the whole system's coming down. Those days of asking for your help, they're long gone. They're long gone. Now, you're going to be told what you need to do in order to survive what's coming in the very near future. If you don't believe me, look at usdebtclock.org. Look at the alternative media that has been calling this since 2008 and prior. There is an ultimate reckoning coming, and it has an agenda. It is by design. Global financial governance. Jean-Claude Trichet said it many years ago. We need global financial governments in order to put this planet on the right path. And that has been the goal. That has been the design. And it's coming to fruition now. You can believe it. You cannot believe it. You can think that everything's going to be fine, that jobs are going to come back, continue to grow, that the consumer economy is going to continue to flourish, that credit's going to last forever. But the reality is, everything comes to an end, and there is no amount of debt that has ever been established in the history of civilized people to as far back as time has been kept that equates to what we have right now. We have a fiat currency that has buffaloed this planet into thinking everything would be okay if we just gave more and more of our freedom, more and more of our financial future to a very, very few individuals, and now it's coming home to roost. You better realize what's coming and prepare for it, because if you don't, you will be a slave to these same individuals who engineered crashes time and time again throughout history. Stories are attached. That's probably not all I got. End quote. That was my dear friend and fellow activist, Charlie McGrath. He died unexpectedly the day after recording and uploading this warning in early 2016. The only detail Charlie didn't foresee was that a virus would be the trigger to set off the collapse he knew was coming. But the pandemic is just the excuse for the economic collapse, not its cause. And tragically, it may have been a virus that got Charlie, as he died from respiratory failure after developing a cough upon return from a business trip in China. He can't be here now, but if he was, I can almost hear what he would say. I miss his insights, his passion, and his unwavering belief in liberty. He lived free. I recreated his 2016 plea here, adjusting only a few words and dates to make sense, because Charlie's predictions have been perfectly accurate, and because what he saw coming next does disturbingly appear to be unfolding. Charlie, I miss you. respect. That's all I got.